I'm Stefan Baumann, and I want to welcome you to another video. Today, our video is going to describe what it's like to reach out and touch. Yes, reach out and touch others, and primarily using YouTube, the actual medium that you are actually watching me. What I'm trying to do is have you be inspired to do these videos yourself. So we're going to look at one of my students named Jean Carlson. She just started on YouTube and she's on fire. She is enjoying doing this and she was so intimidated. So we're going to break through the intimidation, give you some inspiration. And what we're also going to do is discuss how to develop your style. What does it take to ultimately find out who you are as an artist? How do you start that process? Tell me, how are you going to make your style known? Where does that come from? How do we achieve that? Watch this video. You're going to get an insight and you're going to be surprised that your style is already with you. You just need an opportunity to understand how to get it out of you. And we're going to talk to one of my students who participated in the Nevada workshop and the experience, what it's like to be actually in a workshop with me and to be painting outdoors in a workshop situation. So today is just going to be an awesome space for you to sit back with a cup of coffee and enjoy this, sink it all in. Hopefully, you're inspired to do your own YouTube videos like I have, and I'll talk to you on the other side. Yes, we're ready for a miracle. I can tell you today, I am just ready and excited to be here. Just got back from Vegas, baby, and what we did there will not stay there. We got to share it with the world. We had a magnificent workshop. Vegas people go, I don't want to go to Vegas. I don't like Vegas. It's too tacky. Well, it's not tacky at all. It's just, it's gorgeous. It's wonderful. In fact, Kirsten, she came to Vegas also for the workshop. And I'm sure we could probably talk to her. Let me just get her on real quick here. There you are. Hello. There
Hi.
we go. There we go. So how did you love it?
Yeah, no, it's when you go there, it's absolutely full immersion. Once you stop a painting, you start the next one.
Hmm.
And sometimes you skip breakfast
Yeah,
and
we
you
started
find your
early.
protein, you keep going. One of the things about that area, Hoover Dam, Vegas, I watched all the YouTubes I could possibly find about the area to prepare myself and get excited. But once you are right in the middle of it, it can't be captured fully with photos. It's just so gorgeous. So that was just such an amazing, surprising. I don't know why I'm surprised, but I thought I knew. I'd seen pictures, but it was just amazing and got myself some new friends, connections, people who feel as great or good and
I know. Can you
it
bet?
fills me up totally, totally fills me up every which way.
You can see she's speechless. I mean, that's not easy for her. She's usually got something to say about everything. But, we went to the Valley of Fire and I just stopped her while we were in the park and she goes, I wasn't prepared for this. I've watched these videos I've seen, but it's so over the top, off the chain, beautiful I sat there and go, why wouldn't you? I mean, it's not desert, it's not city, it's not anything. Plus, you know what? We got up twice at 5 in the morning. We started traveling at 6 in the morning. I mean, what kind of workshop do people do like that? I
Yeah.
mean,
And just driving out, I could see the sky changing and the beauty of it all.
today, over the weekend, she did, got twice as many as everyone else.
Nine. I did nine paintings.
9 paintings in 2.5 days.
And
Not,
I would have gotten a 10th in if the weather and the road hadn't closed on us that
yeah.
afternoon. Yeah.
Yeah, and I said, get up at 5 in the morning, be there at 6, and everybody was there. There was like wonderful cooperation. Hey, when you immerse yourself in a situation like that, I'm not saying that all of you should sign up for my workshop, but workshops in general, you really get to bond with people on a very deep level and you get to know people.
If you're considering going, if it's at all possible if you could go and you're wondering if you're not sure it would be worth it, I'd tell you it's worth it because it's one of these things you can see all the layers, all the ripple effects this will have on your art and your courage and your sense of community and moving forward and even belief in yourself.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, yeah, you don't know it until you experience it. So if you have any feeling or hesitation, but really, I would say just go for it.
When you first did the workshop, you say you have no idea how it's going to affect the rest of, your painting. And, when you did the workshop prior, you started to understand how to go about putting in a painting intentionally. And this time you started off where you left off, and your paintings just, the one that you did at Valley of Fire, the sky was just so exquisite. It could have been like just gorgeous, but you had developed almost a little bit of a style on this thing. And that's kind of important to understand that, you know, people, thank you so much. I'll let you eat your yogurt. People in a lot of my classes, they talk about developing a style. How do you stand out amongst the crowd? How do you become you? Well, first thing, style is autobiographical. If you're painting about your life, nobody knows your life as much as your self life. But part of painting from life is that we take away all the things that you use as crutches to get better with your painting. And your photography, your video, some people have video that they paint from. However they do, their comfort, their cup of coffee being in a certain place, and it's very predictable. So in that kind of environment, you're constantly repeating yourself and repeating yourself, going, "Where's my style? Where's my style?" Well, your handwriting will show up, your style will show up when you're thrown into a situation like one of the situations is right before a storm, and you could see the big billowing clouds and you see the rain coming, and you're just wondering, and you've got this short period of time. You kind of break down to just putting paint on the canvas. And all of you, that have gotten married and had to learn, your new married name, at first it's like, uh, I hate this name. It's too long. I hate P's. Why did I marry somebody with a P? But after, a while, it becomes automatic. And then now if you got a grocer waiting for a check, it's like, you just have that flow, your confidence, whatever that is, and your signature starts to come up through all of the different practices. All of your practices, all the time that you're spending, you get thrown out there and you just sit there. And I love it at the beginning, especially with newbies, because they just sit there and they go, where do I start? The thing that you learn is that when there's a void, it gets filled. So those of you who take coaching, if you decide not to take coaching again, there's a void and it fills up with a lot of stuff. So instead of painting, you're ending up, running books to the library or something. So if there's a void, it tends to want to get filled up with other stuff. I don't want you to be a mini me while you're out there. We have to have you rise up and fill that void up with you. And when you're put into a situation where you've got a short period of time, not a word how to go about doing it, your body has to fill that void with whatever knowledge you have. And once you do, you start developing a path which allows you to paint original work. And that will come from all of your experiences all kind of pushed into a spot. And it's intimidating and it takes a lot out of you at first. It's important, but that's why you guys are at level three. It's like there's a reason why you're at level three is because you're trying to fill up your life with information and knowledge and experiences, having deadlines for painting. A lot of you that are here are my coaching students, so you're adding layer upon layer. All of this comes, and when all of a sudden I push you outside and put you in front of something as spectacular, like Valley of Fire, or even up here, or even if you go to your backyard, and you're kind of pushed in a time, all of a sudden everything you know starts to rise up. And instead of filling the void from the outside in, you're going to fill that void up from your inside, and you'll start developing your style. Kirsten really started to show her style this weekend, as opposed to, or this week, as opposed to when she first came. First came, she was like feeling all that, but she kind of got into a little routine, and bang, she did a painting. Bang, she did a painting. She did a painting. And, it was obvious where a lot of the students had never done the workshop before. They were struggling at first with, half finished paintings. Yeah, it's like it's really great to see the artists who I've never worked with or anything, or have no idea how all of a sudden they get pushed into a situation like that. They paint like they normally do, and they go, "Oh, I can't paint like that." So my suggestion for you is, because we're going into fall, soon to be winter, and everybody has the excuses, "Oh, well, uh, I can't do it because it's too cold outside. I have to wait till spring." Now is the time to go into your backyard, experiment with a time frame, and be under pressure a little bit. And when you're with me and you definitely have me nagging at you, there is a pressure there. You could self-induce yourself a pressure and just see how you do.
For me, one of the resistances I meet when I think about going outdoors and paint is the pure technicality of getting set up. Sometimes
Hmm.
we're referring to ones, if you don't feel like painting, just put some paint on or whatever. And if you don't feel like it a few minutes into it, fine. Stop painting, go and watch Netflix, whatever. The same way, just tell yourself, I'm gonna set up. And at that end, if I don't feel like painting or doing, okay, I can quit. But I'm telling you, once you get to that, you start, and then again, you lose track of time and you start painting, and you're so glad you did it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also what I did sometimes, because I mean, I read his book and it's so jam full of info, you can't possibly remember everything at the same, but I wrote down some key things when I start out, how to focus my mind. It's not gonna be overwhelmed. And it was just the first keys. Well, first, what is I want to paint and why? And then fill in the areas. Just give me something to focus on to get going.
Hmm.
It helped me anyway.
Well, you notice Kevin, so one of the people that went to the workshop, and I'm not trying to promote my workshop, I'm trying to have you guys live vicariously through their experiences. And Kevin, who showed up, he drove from Virginia. And so he drove from Virginia, and he wants to be one of the art, he wants to be a mini me. He wants to go to the national parks and travel and paint. And he spent 4 days traveling from Virginia over to Vegas. And I said, "So," and of course I knew the answer. I said, "So how many paintings did you do?" And, none. And I go, "Why is that?" And he said, "Well, I don't know, because that's again that void. You go to someplace, and all of a sudden you get to a park and you start filling that emptiness of you being there with something else rather than painting." And we learned a valuable lesson when we were out. It's like, don't wait to find the perfect spot. When you see something that will work, stop and work. And that was really crucial this time, is that we started painting in Valley of Fire. And well, we weren't even really in the park at that point. We were just outside. And I said, this is an important lesson. When you see something, don't try to be a Moses and move forward. You go, "Well, that's kind of nice." Stop, because you don't know if you're going to have anything else. And so I stopped everybody outside of the park. I said, "This is our first spot." Thank God we did, because we wouldn't have had an opportunity to do another one, because they closed the park at a certain point, which we didn't know. And second, a monsoon came in and kind of gobbled up our afternoon. But Kevin came across, he says, "Well, I saw a lot of places where I thought I was gonna." And, gonna doesn't work when you get to the end of the park. You go, "Well, I'm going to do that again at the next park." So he went from park to park to park, and really not producing anything because he didn't have that moment of just dedication, or if you're not in the mood. And you know, there were a few times Kirsten says, "I'm too tired. I don't want to do it." And I said, "Just set up and show up." And when you show up, you know, start putting if you actually set up and show up and you start putting some brush strokes on, then you're not in the mood, or if you're tired, then put it all away. It should be a big burden to undo your commitment, and that will drive you to at least try to fill up that I'm time. Stefan Baumann, and this is the last day of our workshop here in Nevada, Southern Nevada, actually. And we're painting the Valley of Fire, which is absolutely amazing. But we're coming up here, there's artists all around us. As you can see, we're going to go walk up and see what he's doing and see whether or not he's having a good time right now. Hello, artist. How are you?
Hello, Stefan.
Who are you?
My name's Kevin.
Kevin what?
Kevin Jones.
Kevin Jones. That's a name you need to remember because he's just on fire. What are you planning on doing after you leave here?
Painting some more. It's so exciting. Every stop is a beautiful new adventure. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to
you're
spending
going to go
the
to
rest
my
of the
next
day.
workshop in a couple of weeks.
Absolutely. I'm going for a small road trip in between workshops, headed through California on the backbone up 395.
Unbelievable.
And, yeah.
Going
just can't wait.
Yosemite and Lake Tahoe, and then
Yeah, doing
and then
some painting.
he's going to do my next workshop, which is just fabulous. So how are you enjoying this?
Oh, it's a blast. Yeah, I can't
Are
wait
you
to get to
surprised at the scenery here in Southern Nevada?
Yes, the colors especially. You know, if you come through the wrong time of the day, it kind of looks flat and brown. But
Yeah.
in the sunlight in the early morning and late evenings, it's phenomenal. You know, it's a phenomenal display. And to try to capture it is such a challenge. Learning how to do it is one of the most fun
Are
things.
you learning something?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, it's this craziest thing. You're having fun, and you realize slowly you're getting better. So, yeah, learning a lot. And
Do you
having a
see
blast.
yourself doing this like the rest of your life?
I don't see myself being able to stop.
Ah, that's good. I was a little afraid there where you're going to go, actually, no, I'm not doing this anymore. No, but actually, it's actually wonderful. It's that. And you haven't been doing this a long time either.
No, under a year. I was very, very hesitant to make that first call. And I'm so
What was the
glad.
first call?
The first call was to dial Stefan Baumann's phone number.
It's not a commercial for me, I assure you. It's just what
Sure.
happened.
But to call up and say, hey, I want to do this. I'm interested in this, but I need some help, you know. And it's not going to be a lot of exercises and
No color wheels, no notons, no drawing stuff. You just jump right into it and do it. And you
Yes.
learn from what not to do by making those not to do's, right?
and having an enthusiastic, supportive coach friend who can help me along this journey.
So it's not that complicated because, you know, well, first thing when people say, well, Vegas, what's there to paint in Vegas? And, you know, wow, the scenery out here is just spectacular. You can imagine what this is like. But it's something that you kind of just nibble on until you get it. It's not so overwhelming.
Right.
So, so if you are planning on going to learn how to paint on location, what would you suggest a newbie to do?
First of all, buy Stefan Baumann's latest book,
The Ultimate Plein Air Guide.
The Ultimate
I
Plein
didn't
Air
ask him
Guide.
to say that either,
Right.
but the thing is, it's kind of a Bible.
Yes, and it doesn't even matter if it's not plein air. You're going to learn something in this book. It's well laid out, well put together. And if that's the first step, but I really recommend if you're interested in learning how to do this and come into a workshop, make that phone call and talk to Stefan Baumann.
Yeah, and you
won't
don't have...
regret it. There's no commitment. You try it, you don't like it. You know.
Well, the thing is that though it's not so over the top, and you don't have to have a lot of knowledge. You actually
No.
come out here, we paint. You're not learning my method. I just make you better.
Right.
You know?
You know, a year ago I was an absolute and total beginner,
Yeah.
and I'm still got a long way to go, but I'm increasing in confidence by the day.
Yeah, I just can't, you know, whenever I hear people, because they would watch my television show and stuff, and we're painting in the parks, and they would always go, you know, when I grow up and retire, I want to do this for a living. And, you know, it's so awesome that I'm able to do that for artists. And so you really inspire me.
Oh, for human beings, people who are having dreams, and you're helping them achieve that at, you know, maybe just the time they thought it was out of reach.
Yeah.
It's-
And it starts off with phone coaching, you know,
Right.
to kind of get you going, which didn't take long. How long have you been with me?
10 or 11 months.
Yeah, under a year you're painting. Yeah, all these people that have you do color wheel and notons and drawings and stuff, you're wasting your time. Come out and try this for yourself on the spot.
It's hands-on.
Hands on. Make the mistakes. Let's figure out what's missing, and we'll just fix that and carry you on. Before long, a year from now, you could be out here at my next Vegas workshop. So
I plan on being here, and I hope to see you
see you.
too.
Thank
Join
you.
us.
Thank you. Anyway, so if you're interested in joining us in our workshop, just go to my website, stefanbaumann.com, and there, a little pop-up window, you know those annoying things pop up. Anyway, so fill that out. You actually download a free book, which is like 80 pages. There you'll kind of get an introduction to some of my plein air stuff, some history, and some of my artwork, but that will keep you in the loop. You'll be part of my mailing list. If you want to order the book, you can go to stefanbaumann.com, and there is an order form for the book, and it's not necessary, but you'll learn a lot from it. I didn't spend 40 years learning how to paint just to not have my own ideas and things, and you'll be amazed that this is a lot easier because I've broken it down very, very simple steps. And then who knows, there you'll get information about my workshops in Mount Shasta or in Vegas or wherever else I plan to do, and you'll become an artist and you get to travel and paint. What better life could that possibly be? So get on my website, stefanbaumann.com, or just give me a call at 415-606-9074. My students know that I answer all of my phone calls myself. There's no secretary. You will be directly dispatched to my ear, and I'll ask you, so what were you thinking? You go, I want to try one of those workshops. And I'll say, I'll register you right now. That easy. It's fun. So anyway, if you get a chance, go to my website, find out more information. Until then, keep your brushes wet, and always remember, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Except bears. Bears will kill you. Bye-bye. You know, the thing is, art is autobiographical. And when you think about your life and you're presenting a story, you want to kind of have people kind of come in and learn about you. And there are things that are contribute to the conversation, and there are things that are not. So, yeah, we don't want to see all of this stuff that doesn't pertain to what it is that you want to be. You're sculpting your show to be a reflection of you so that when people leave, they go, that's a very interesting artist. I'd like to know a little bit more about them. And then they go to their website. And so it's to keep the message or being consistent with what it is that you want to say, your presentation, how you want things to look, down to, you know, like I have a text that I present. Everything is in Bernhard Modern. So if you see any of my paper materials, any of my business cards, anything, the text's always the same. The wording's always the same. The names are always the same. You've got to be sure not to get too carried away. You know, I have the gram view, which is something I've been working on ever since I was 14, believe it or not. And, you know, there's always a kind of consistent, but it is about you, your observations, your life, and sharing your life and building that. And if you're not sure if you want to show something, say, is this a contribution to people to get to know me, or is it just a pretty picture to hang in the bathroom? You know, and even like when you're choosing paintings to paint beforehand, you want to be able to stay on message or on point as part of developing your style. And when you have a showing like this, even down to painting the color on the walls, yeah, uncluttering the message. It's not about putting up a bunch of, it's not a tag sale at a thrift shop. You know, it's like putting things together so yeah, there's a cohesiveness in the story and you're in how you tell people, you know, all of you have gone to art shows where they'll have Van Gogh or Monet. And when you leave there, you're kind of immersed in what kind of person he is and part of his life. And that's kind of what you want to be doing here is always think about it like a museum show. That's why I said it's important to have your story next to your painting so people kind of dive in. You might even have a continuous story that they don't know they're reading, but if they start reading the first thing about this story, the second painting that could be a longer version of what they just learned about you, and then phase two, phase three. And that could be part of the way that you lay out your show. It's like, instead of just putting, oh, a painting here, just get that painting off the floor and shove it up there. See if there's a cohesive enough story, and kind of combine them and show them. Having a show is, an opportunity to really connect with your audience, not just, in sales, which we're all driven to, but really kind of getting an understanding of who you are. I'm Stefan Baumann, and I would love to introduce you to a new book that I just wrote on plein air painting. After 40 years, I finally sat down with one of the best authors that I could possibly imagine for this project and put together everything I know about painting outdoors. And this isn't just an outdoor painting book. No, these are techniques that you can bring into the studio, and they apply to watercolors, acrylics, gouache, and oil. You will be amazed at what you will learn with every turn of the page, every paragraph. We have worked through my videos, my information, my books, my blogs, and brought it all together. And over 2 years of editing, we brought it down to just the facts. This painting book has over 400 pages and almost 500 illustrations. If you see my videos, and if you read my blog, and you follow me on YouTube, you know that there's a lot of information. There's a lot of things you don't know that you don't know. I'm amazed at the quality of this book, the pages. It's a field guide. It's a book that you would take outdoors with you and paint on location. It's been organized so you could find your way through my keys. This book explains 40 years of teaching and knowledge one-on-one. All the information that I possibly know about painting is in this book. So run, don't walk, and order this book today.
Get this book. It's awesome.
So I want to introduce you to Jean Carlson. So Jean's one of my students, and I want you to kind of look at what she's done here. I told her, I said, you absolutely have to start marketing yourself. And this is the marketing part of doing the videos. Let me unshare this real quick. Stop the share, talk to you for a little bit about what you're going to see here. So Jean has been with me for a while. And one of the things that all of you need to do is start setting up a YouTube station. And, I said, well, and she had given a couple of talks to a couple of the local photography groups and stuff. And she really started to fall in love with actually sharing what she knows. And, in that process, I told her, well, if you're going to give a talk in front of a group of people like that, always, 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 always film. Put your camera up, film it, try to get some lighting up. Main thing is always try to get a mic on you so you have really good sound, because sound's really important. So find out what it takes. Now, this is the same thing I always said with Kirsten. It's like, you might try and say, okay, I want to go do this, and you'll probably fail. But you got to kind of commit yourself that that's what you're going to do today, as uncomfortable as that is. A lot of things that going to Vegas is an overwhelming proposition. Go to Mount Shasta is even harder. But if you kind of make a reservation and you start your journey, you realize just 1 minute after another, and you just pursue. It's like even going outdoors to paint. You just kind of have to follow up. Well, one of the things is to have a YouTube station. A YouTube station is actually the thing that you want to do to try to connect with your buyers, your people who are interested in your work. You want to have a platform where people feel comfortable that you are a professional. You're not just some hack from China that is, ripping something off. So in the marketing segment of this is that you need to have Facebook, Instagram, but YouTube is one of the most sought after platform that nobody really uses that much because you feel like it requires a lot. And so when she gave talks, I said, film it. And she did. But now she has to edit it, which is a big, overwhelming thing. So editing is, kind of stopping her on that. And I could see it's a huge project. But I said, just get a YouTube station and just force yourself to try to put something on. So just this last couple of weeks, she has started to do that. Here she's got her latest video 36 minutes ago. So I mean, she's like alive doing this. She started August 23rd. August 23rd, she started going on this journey. And so look at how many videos she has. And all she is just sitting there sharing what art means to her. And let's kind of watch what she does here.
Hi, why am I doing this video out here while I'm walking? Well, I find that it helps me think. So I want to give you some things to think about if you're retired. I'm going to be 76 years old this year, and I retired several years back. I didn't start plein air painting, which is outdoor painting, until about 4 years ago. I don't want you to do that. I want you to start painting whenever it is you first retire, or whenever you feel like you want to paint. It's changed my life. Literally changed my retirement life. I've met people from all over the place. I've learned to paint outdoors and paint what you see. And since I do landscape painting, that's the best way to learn, is by painting outdoors. I love it. I've met these people who have the same ambition that I do. I get together with them. One's from Canada, one's from Virginia, another from California.
So what I wanted to basically show, not to watch this whole thing, but this is her very first YouTube video. And for you guys, it's really intimidating about thinking about, oh, I wonder. I just said, get out there, go for a walk, hold the camera and talk. No script, no nothing. Now I told her, I said, it's very intimidating to do something like that. But I said, get over yourself. This is not about you. This is not about you looking good or sounding good. Deliver a message about them, that you want to give them a gift of something that will change their life or what has changed your life. Show them an insight. Share something with somebody. When you are in the process of giving, giving knowledge, giving your heart, wanting to be a preacher to help people see things or better their lives, or it's really easy to do that when you get the focus off of you. You can hear she's panting, but she's what, 76 years old? Look what she's been doing. It's like, here, we got another one of her here.
Hi, I'm Jean Carlson, and I'm a plein air painter, and I want to make a video today about a time that I was stuck. If you are a plein air painter or any kind of a painter, I think you can relate.
So, she gets these little insights. She asks herself a question and she answers it. It's like, and in this process, she's kind of learning more about herself, about why am I stuck? What am I painting? What do I want my style to be? What are this? She just sits in front of the camera and she's doing self analyzation about what it is that drives her. So, and she's trying to feed it out to people that might be stuck themselves. And like I said, if you're in the space of serving others, it's very easy to give of yourself. And if she's got big glasses on, so she might be uncomfortable right now. That's kind of a shield. A lot of how you process things sometimes comes together in these YouTube videos. If you're trying to market yourself, you got to think about, if somebody Googles you and you have 12, 15 videos, and they go there and they realize that you're speaking as if you're a professional. You're speaking as if you are talking about yourself. This gives us already, in this little couple of minutes that we probably 2 minutes or even 1 minute that we've actually watched her, we are starting to get a little bit of knowledge about her. She's just not a name somewhere. She's actually, she's 76 years old. She's got a passion. She is trying to help people. We already know a little bit about her. So if you people are interested in purchasing your work, you can imagine how all of a sudden they start buying your story, your interest. So everything that you want to do, you want to start sharing this with people's. And I mean, in under a month, look at the videos that she produced. It's just she's just sitting there. Oh, here she is without glasses. Let's see what she has to say here.
Are you a landscape painter? Do you want to sell your paintings? Do you really want to sell your paintings? And why would you need a story with your paintings? I'm going to answer those two questions for you because I took a journey and I've been in the place that you are at this very moment. If you're a plein air painter and you're trying to decide when is a good time to sell my paintings and how do I sell my paintings? I'm going to say that there was a time when I painted that I did not want to sell my paintings. I painted, I enjoyed the painting, and I hung them in my home, and I kept hanging them in my home. The reason I didn't sell them, of course, is because I was learning and I was throwing away and I was putting them in the garage. And then for every one I threw away, there would be another one and another. And then maybe once in a while, I would come up with one that made it to the finish line. That's
So you could see it's like, she's now, from her first video, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, she's at 7 videos. And she's speaking as if she's like a pro. But her first one, she's panting and she's nervous and she is walking. But the thing is, all of a sudden she realized, I could do this. This isn't so hard. But set yourself up a YouTube. And I mean, if a lady who's 76 years old who never did it, and this was as of August 23rd, from August 23rd to September 18th, she's a professional now. It's possible. You too could do this. So, guys, it's such an important thing. And it's very easy to kind of start doing, but don't go for perfection. Just allow the process to happen. Allow yourself to grow. Allow yourself. I told her by the time she gets rolling along, nobody's going to see these early videos. They're going to be looking at videos because not that many people know her yet. But as she starts producing more and more content, the Google bots will say, oh, she's somebody that's moving somewhere. Let's move her up on the Google bot thing. And that's how you start getting known through Google and stuff, is that you're constantly producing. And I think she's a little addicted to it right now. I mean, look at her. She's obsessed with, videos, and it's so awesome. And while you're doing this, you're going to find other topics to think about, little things. And all what I suggest to do is just hold your camera horizontal because that's the way YouTube likes to have it, and just turn it on and start rambling like I do. And you'll be surprised how all this information, I talked to her yesterday about it. I said, isn't it surprising that you could start something with no idea where it's going to go and not be in control of it, and how all of a sudden from heaven the content starts to come through your brain and you start organizing it as you're speaking, just like any other conversation, and you start sounding like an expert on what you do. So anyway, anybody have any questions about this?
Yeah, how long are her videos? What do you think is a good number? Around 7 minutes? 5 minutes?
Here's four. Here's 2 minutes, 2 minutes. This is 13 seconds. I have no idea. Yes, 13. Let's see what she says in 13 seconds.
If I took myself back and I was just learning to landscape paint again, what would I do differently? What I would do is take an hour a day, go outside, sit, and look at the landscape.
There you go. 13 seconds. Just get out and sit and do it. I mean, it's like things will come up to you and you go, whoa.
Well, assume if you download the YouTube app on your phone and then you open it up and you set up your account, there is You can start recording through that app, or do you download your videos from your camera, or both?
She's doing it on her camera. So she just turns on her camera, uh,
Yeah.
under video, and she just holds it out. She's just
And
holding it like this. She doesn't even have a joystick.
no, and then she just shares it through YouTube.
You
Okay.
download it like that. Yeah, like you and I, we did a video. There we go.
Okay.
So this is
I'm Stefan Baumann. I want to welcome you. This is the third day of my workshop in Nevada, and it is spectacular. As you can see what's behind me. Now, I've taken a few students on location to paint here, and one of those students is right here.
Look at that
She
background.
has
It's
been
crazy.
taking coaching from me, and she decided to come to Vegas and paint this magnificent area. So here we are. So, hello, who are you? Tell everybody who you are.
From Alberta, Canada, and my passion is for outdoor lens.
So Kirsten, one thing you have to remember, you should always use your last name. Okay, so whenever somebody says, "Who are you?" you don't just say, "Hi, I'm Stefan. I'm Stefan Baumann." And really, when you say your name, own it. Just like well, of course you know who I am, kind of thing, because that is the most important thing. And I ambushed her. She had no idea I was going to spring this on her. Right? She's like watching me come up, and she's like thinking, all of a sudden I come around the corner, and there she is.
And how do you like to workshop?
It pushed me out of my comfort zone into something amazing and difficult and totally worthwhile.
Awesome. Awesome.
So this hasn't been put on YouTube yet. So I just filmed that in my camera. So you don't need to be hooked up with anything. You just put it on video mode and just start walking. And the cameras are so good right now that they'll handle any of the jogging and anything like that. So what I'd like to do is throw down a gauntlet with you guys. The next time we meet on the Patreon, the marketing level, which all of you are in right now, I am putting the gauntlet down saying I want a URL of your YouTube station and have a YouTube ready that is similar to this. Think you could do that? Just one video. That's a month. Look what she did in a month. I'm just asking for one video. It would be a start. And remember, nobody's going to see this. Do you know that every 5 minutes, YouTube uploads 500 hours of video content every 5 minutes? To think that out of all of those videos that they're going to find you at the very beginning is just crazy. It takes a long time for you to filter out. And it's kind of like, that a lot of times when you look out into the universe, when you see light and stars, you're actually seeing lights of stars that are no longer there. It's taken the light to travel so long to get to you that the star is already gone. And by the time people start recognizing your name, these videos will have disappeared if you don't want them to be around. So don't be, egotistical. Don't go for perfect. Just go for something. That's all I ask. You guys are associated with me.
Right.
And the thing is, there is no way that you could produce anything that isn't of quality because you know what I produce. And so, you're gonna just look at jeans. You see, worried about perfection, worried about anybody, you're gonna do fine. And if you make mistakes, all what it is show that you're sincere. And if you don't share, that means that you're egotistical. You're in your head saying, "I don't want anybody to see that part of me. I can't do it." It's like if you want to make people's worlds beautiful, you've got to just allow the world to realize that you're just as human as everyone else. Make the mistakes. At one point, I was so shy that PBS said I needed to find somebody else to talk for me, and it was going to be all voiceover because I was that bad at it. But I got good at it, and now you can't shut me up. And Zoom is a really good platform. You could go on Zoom and use the Zoom stuff if you want your film to go automatically onto your computer. Um, a lot of the intros that I have for my video, I shoot right here, and I'm not even talking to anybody. I'm just in a Zoom room and I ask the computer to record it. And I just talk into the computer and there's nobody on the other side. So you can actually use your camera and your sound through a Zoom, download it and put that into an editing thing. There is a learning curve. You have to learn how to upload things and then you'll learn how to do little edits. But the process you're going to learn from experience. See, I told you it was worthwhile to watch. Now, when you're producing your own videos, you want to make sure that they're energetic, they're lively. You don't have to do them as lively and excited as I do. But this is what I do. I love inspiring people. If you want to be inspired, be part of these conversations. Go ahead and sign up for Patreon. It's only as little as $5 a month, and you can at least get some coaching from me. Or you could go to one of my workshops and just give me a call at 415 606 9074. Those workshops are listed on my website, and we're putting up new ones, and we're going to be going to Canada here shortly. So you guys up north, I'm coming. Watch out. If you want my book, be sure to go to my website at stefanbaumann.com. There, not only will you get an invitation to participate in my brush and brunch, which is every Sunday at the beginning of the month, and you don't want to miss that. So you want to sign up for that free book that will get you in the inside track of that. And you could order the book there as well and get the inside track and be part of our book club, which is absolutely free also. So if you buy the book, you get the book club. Every month we meet. That's where a lot of this conversation was taped. And you could be on the inside track of that. But the main thing is go out, be passionate, enjoy life, enjoy painting and your life as an artist, because what we do is extraordinary. Now we just have to share it with the rest of the world. Bye-bye. I'm Stefan Baumann, and I would love to introduce you to a new book that I just wrote on plein air painting. After 40 years, I finally sat down with one of the best authors that I could possibly imagine for this project and put together everything I know about painting outdoors. And this isn't just an outdoor painting book. No, these are techniques that you can bring into the studio, and they apply to watercolors, acrylics, gouache, and oil. You will be amazed at what you will learn with every turn of the page, every paragraph. We have worked through my videos, my information, my books, my blogs, and brought it all together. And over 2 years of editing, we brought it down to just the facts. This painting book has over 400 pages and almost 500 illustrations. If you see my videos and if you read my blog and you follow me on YouTube, you know that there's a lot of information. There's a lot of things you don't know that you don't know. I'm amazed at the quality of this book, the pages. It's a field guide. It's a book that you would take outdoors with you and paint on location. It's been organized so you could find your way through my keys. This book explains 40 years of teaching and knowledge one-on-one. All the information that I possibly know about painting is in this book. So run, don't walk, and order this book today.
Get this book. It's awesome.